Hi everyone and welcome back. So this is the part 2 of the web dev tool. So we are just looking around Chrome dev tools. We are trying to understand and how Chrome developer tool can help developers to understand lots of things about you can inspect, you can debug, you can track, you can check the performance, you can do the load test. Everything is possible using Chrome dev tools. I'm just giving you some examples, but you can do everything. Lighthouse performance recorder, and there are other dev tools available for the Chrome, for the React, for Redux, for other framework. Also you can add as a plugins. Okay, here you can inspect a particular element. Let's say here we have a simple temperature converter application. Right here, this is the input element, right? Input type number, placeholder, on input we are calling a function. So here I just have added simple JavaScript also. So what I want is, whenever you enter something in this, I wanted to execute a JavaScript code, and we are talking about the beginners, right? So yes, in the HTML you can register some kind of events. This is input text field. When you click on to submit button, when you type something in the input text field, JavaScript allows you to trigger the event like on click event, on change event, on key up event, on key down events, that we will discuss in details. Here I just wanted to use this example to explain about Chrome dev tool. So here there is no console error. Otherwise, let's say I am just putting some errors, like let's say const x equal to 9 and then x equal to 900. That's an error and we are including it, right? So you can see this error is coming here. Assignment of constant variable is not allowed. So what I will do is, okay, just get rid of this and your error is gone. If you try to do console.logx, so this console is very powerful. Here you can do lots of things. Console.log, clear, dir. Here even I can just do x is actually variable. So here I will just do console.log, right? You can actually log the value. Similarly, there are other methods also. Console.log, debug, error, group, info. Console.info you can do. Console.time, not sure about what it takes as an argument. And here you can see this is editor loaded and this is the time. And here I will reload this page, and here you can see all the messages, right? All the info messages, all the errors, warnings, info, verbose. So these are actually log level modes. On the Chrome there are different type of messages. You will see some errors, some just information, some user warnings, and all those things you can just filter it out here. Okay, now what is happening, we can also check the source, like what all files does it contain. So first of all, it doesn't expose the source directly. What you can do is you can try to see, okay, I want to look into index.js. So command P, and here you will see all the files which are there, index.js. So I got the index.js which I wanted to look into. You can add the debug point. How I'm adding the debugger, I will explain you. Move your mouse here and click onto this line 1 2. So I have added debugger here. And now whenever you type anything, because you are adding a debugger to some JavaScript function which you are executing from your HTML. So on the HTML, when you are actually typing on input and on change, these are the two DOM listeners, event listeners I have added. So on website, sometimes you click, sometimes you mouse move, sometimes you scroll. All those things which happens dynamically happens through DOM events, right? So here I'm just saying, okay, whenever you change anything in input text field, I want to execute some code, some logic. So that's why I have added on change event, and this on change event is defined inside JavaScript file, which I have added in the bottom JavaScript file, in the top CSS file. So JavaScript file we are putting in the bottom because we don't want to block. Let's say my JavaScript file is very huge, so we are putting the JavaScript file in the bottom, so it will not block the rendering of your HTML, because if we just need HTML CSS to show the initial UI, so we will always put JavaScript in the bottom before the closing of the body. And here I can see I can add a debugger, and now you can see I got the debugger. So this execution came to the debugger. I got the value number is 1. And here we are doing parse float. It's actually, when you mouse over, you can see more information about it. It's a JavaScript function which is converting. I mean, let's say you might also enter 1.1, right? And this is how you will disable the debugger. You just click on to this. Currently it's enabled, right? Now you don't want to execute a debugger and you just wanted to skip it, then disable it and move forward. These are like simple how to debug the breakpoints. This is used for pause. This is used for enable and activate and deactivate breakpoints. Step into, step over, step out. So this is how you are getting the outcome. So here these are like DOM events, right? And when you select this HTML input text field, you will see all the things about this input text field. So what all some people are interested to understand, okay, what this HTML element can do. This is input type text field. I will select this. This is input type text field, okay. Then this is the computed. This has a padding. Then there is some border. This is the layout, and these are the event listeners. And here I do have these two event listeners added, change and the input, right? You can see here input Fahrenheit. This is an ID, and I have added the input change listener and input listener, and it is actually capturing, and this is the handler which we have added already, right? And what this handler is doing, that also you can see. This handler is this function which we have in the source. This is the handler, right? So whenever you type something, this handler gets executed. So here this is our console. I can check everything about the DOM event. So let's go and inspect this. And here these are the DOM events, and DOM events are many, like there are hundreds of events. Mouse move, mouse key up, key down, scroll up, scroll down, on key, on click, on change, on key up, on key down. And these are some DOM properties. What are these properties? These are HTML input properties. So what all properties are attached to this JavaScript DOM? So here we can see lots of things like input type. This is attributes, right? Input type number, title, text content, tab index. What are the styles added to this input type text element, size, slot, required. So these all are actually the properties of an input text field. And when you look into the documentation, there are many. You can see these all are input type text field properties, which is allowed. I mean, there are many. We don't need to worry about each and every property. And these are some DOM breakpoint, accessibility. We have, I think, these are the tags which you can add, right? Area label by area label not specified, title not specified, placeholder is there, area placeholder not specified. So when you want to add accessibility in your HTML pages, then this tab is really important. And you can just see the warning even for each and every DOM node. Like for label, you need to add an area label so that accessibility can be improved, right? So these are the event listener, layout, styles, and this is how we are putting a breakpoint. Breakpoint is actually pausing your execution. So whenever you type something, it will come to your breakpoint. Currently the execution is paused. You move to the next step, and when you click on it, now we don't have further breakpoint. Here you can see the breakpoint will give you the values also. This is the value number 1.111, right? I will just make it resume X script, and we got the outcome because there is no further breakpoint we have. And inside right hand section, you can see all the breakpoints you have added. Your call stack also, let's say I'm adding here, and now you can see the call stack also there. So inside call stack, we are calling this temperature converter, right? So first of all, there was an on input. On input was a DOM event. Then you are calling this function, JavaScript function, right? Similarly, DOM listeners, DOM breakpoints, event listeners, all the event listeners which are there, you can listen for those and can inspect, right? Okay, so this is pretty much we have. I mean, you can actually do a memory optimization also. You can create a heap. So you can see it is generating a heap and it is giving you this outcome. So when your application is very big and you wanted to see how many variables has been assigned, what is the total memory size it is consuming. Then you can create a heap snapshot and read about it, like what is the memory consumption, how many variables it has created. Application contains the local storage. So local storage is something which you can put as a key value, hello, and inside a console. This is powerful tool. This console is powerful. Here this is actually a JavaScript runtime environment for the client side. Here you can do everything you want to do. Console, this is the console function, right? Console.log equal to a function, right? It's actually the same as JavaScript interpreter. Console.table, I don't have anything for putting inside a table, but you can specify the whole object. Console.dir, and here let's say I'm doing a set timeout, it will give me that. So here you can execute any type of calculations, coding and all. X is already defined, so I will try to move this to the top. Here let's say let x equal to 80. I think it's already defined, so we'll get some error. So I just need to change the variable name. This works fine. Now if you try to declare the same variable again, then obviously it will create a problem, right? Because it's not a var. So here it's like you can reassign the same value, but in case of constant you cannot reassign, or you cannot assign a new value to a const. So let and const and var, these are the keywords we are using. Now I put something in the local storage, so I'm using this local storage. Can I access that local storage item? Local storage, and inside local storage I can see there is a hello world, right, already there. Similarly we can access, I think, cookie store. I mean, there is a cookie store is the function, and it gives you some method cookie store dot name. Cookie store is a function. Similarly you can also access, because this all these things are actually client side. Session storage, so this is your whole session storage object. Similarly there is a cookie store, and you can actually use local storage dot get item to access something from local storage. Get item, and I think my item name is hello, so it will give you the world, right? So what is the major difference? We will understand more about the cookies when we do some applications, but let's try to understand. Local storage will always be there until unless you go and manually delete the key, and any application running on this browser can access either that application will set the key value, and then you can do local storage dot get item set item. Session storage is temporary. Cookie storage is actually associated with the server side cookies or client side cookies. Once you set something inside a cookies, then whatever the request you are making, any HTTP network call you are making from the client to the server, these cookies will be sent. So let's say I'm adding a cookie name, and this cookies will be added to the hello, right? So let's say I'm adding some more data, and data is a JSON object. New data, this is another key. So I'm just adding some cookies. Cookies have expiry, so until unless they are not expired, you can keep sending them. And I will reload the page, and I will try to go to the network and try to see what all I'm downloading, what all I'm getting. I need to hide this thing, so here you can see all the requests which we are sending from the client. Even like simple page, I reload this page and I'm just requesting for CSS and JavaScript. These cookies will always be there in the request. You can see cookie name, whatever the cookies we are setting, that will be exchanged between client and server. So this is the data which you wanted to share. Let's say there is a cookie based session and all. advanced topics we will learn, but this is what the cookies data will be sent. Cookies data will be exchanged between client and server. This is a tiny bit of information which you can share between client and server, and you can put like cookies ID, session content, and when the request is sent to server, server will check, is this user valid? Like you do the login in different applications, Swiggy, Zomato and all, how they identify that you are logged in user, either through cookies, either through some token, or there is some mechanism they use to know that you are already logged in user. Okay, so this is all about network, and then similarly you can do the performance, memory optimizations, what all memory using running test. Lighthouse report we have already generated. It will give you the mirror about what you have built, right? So analyze the page load. Here also we can just try to understand how it really works. I mean, we are just also loading some JavaScript here. Everything is good. SEO is not good. So here you can just see the complete audit report. Like first the byte which has entered into the browser, how much it is taking. Viewport tag is still missing. The meta tag. Cache is missing. Accessibility is good. Best practices are not followed. Register unload listener. SEO is not even there. Meta tag is missing. So all those things are still fine. Meta tag you can add, and it will start giving you the good results on the SEO side. Okay, so this is the main role of your Chrome Dev tool. It will help you to inspect. You can change the styling. Let's say I really don't like this layout of this input text field, right? I wanted to make it a little bit bigger. So currently inside this p tag we should make it inside a div. So this is how you can also change it. Inside div you have label, and I wanted to make a width 100%. So it will come inside a second section, and then I also can add margin auto. Now I have added 100%, so then I need to increase this to either make a fixed width to this div. So this is how we can play with the width and height. You can see I just put a fixed width to this, and then this is covering the whole width. Margin padding, you can also add some margin if you want. Let's say padding is 10 pixel, right? 10 pixel margin we got. For the label also you can add some margin, same margin of 10 pixel, right? So they are not adjacent to the borders, right? And then this is the placeholder. I wanted to just maybe put some colors like background color here. So this is how you can play with. I will just make some nice color, and there is a text color also, like what is color you will enter. I will still keep it as a white. I think there is some grayish color is coming up. Background color red is too much, and there is a border color also we are adding. So this is how input text field. So you can actually customize the styling. You can play with the Chrome Dev tools by editing, deleting. You can delete element, duplicate element. I did duplicate, right? I can delete. I can inspect. I can copy the whole element, JS path, CSS path and all. Or you can play with the lots of things here, like here you can just, I mean, that's after when you understand JavaScript. So here we can just say document.query selector all, because document is an object, same as the window object, right? These are the client side objects which are available. So here I'm just saying document.query selector all. Query selector, maybe I am just passing body. So you can inspect the things by ID, by name, by tag. So here I'm doing document.query selector. This is a JavaScript way of inspecting the HTML DOM. So whatever you see here, this is nothing but HTML DOM, head, body and all. This is actually HTML DOM is document object model, and you can play with this DOM using Chrome Dev tool. You can inspect the DOM based on some ID, based on the class name and all. So there were some classes also we were using. So let's say, is there any class? Classes were not used, but you can just do a tag name and all these things. So there are different methods like document.get element by ID, get element by tag name, get element by class name. So if I do a tag name, which is div, so there are many divs available. It will give you the collection array, right? I think there is only one div. And if I do h1, there is empty, so we have h2, so I can just do h2. Collection h2, right? So this is all about Chrome Dev tool. You go ahead and start playing with the Chrome Dev tool. Make yourself comfortable and familiar with how we inspect, how we change the style. Because with the Chrome Dev tool, you can do lots of things. You apply the CSS and then check your styles are applied properly or not. Do you need to tweak your